Hello, welcome back to the channel, The PROWIRC Method, where we discuss concepts from the book Happiness and Well-Being through Balance and Progress, The PROWIRC Method. Is worry ruining your life? Worry is a big topic these days. People are worried about a lot of things. If you ask them about what they're worried about, they can't all describe it. Some people are just going around worried all the time. It feels like a dark cloud, over their head. They describe it as being debilitating. Some people do have a number of specific worries that they bring up and tell you about. But there's both of those groups of people. The people that say, I'm just worried. They talk about news cycles or talk about the stock market or their finances, or they're talking about their old age pensions or social securities. People were worried about a lot of things. People were worried about things in their families. People were worried about their kids. There's just there can be a lot of things to be worried about, but what we're going to talk about today is the actual topic of worry itself. And we're going to take a few ideas to actually target worry and to attempt to push it back and get it out of your life. Because the first thing we need to commit to, and we're going to go through some ideas here using the PROWIRC method ideas, but the first thing we need to commit to is the concept that worry on its own does not solve problems. It typically doesn't help problems. As a matter of fact, the concept of worry and the habit of worry is one of the biggest problems that people really face, no matter what they're worrying about. The actual habit of being always worried is the thing that's affecting them the most, and really is sort of knocking down their joy in their life and their experience of well-being. So we're gonna talk about some things to do with that today. And the first thing we're gonna talk about is that we really want you to think about that in terms of committing to the concept that worry is not a method to solve problems. So worry is essentially thought cycles that go around and around and around in your head with the makings of a problem, or the details of a problem, or parts of a problem, flashes of just concepts of a problem that just make you feel flat and down and concerned and stressed out. And so we're going to use some techniques here today to meet that head on, and to deal with some of those worries, and to dispel some of the worries, and to just try to push away some of the worries. So first of all, we're going to suggest that for the exercise we're actually going to suggest for you to do here is to get a small notepad, like one you can buy at a typical dollar store, like a small notepad that goes in your pocket or your purse or wherever you want to keep that. And for the period of a week, what I'd like you to do is every time you have a worry, something that's kind of beating on you on your mind, and something that's bringing you down, something that's stressing you out, something that's concerning you, just take that little notepad out. And this is going to be a two-step process here. First, take out the little notepad and write down specifically what you think that worry is. Just in a line or two, just exactly define, hey, what was I just worrying about right there? I was worrying about that. Okay? Remembering that worry is primarily a habit, and a bad habit, the first thing we're trying to do is just get out of the habit of worrying. We're going to really think about and accept the concept that if you have areas of concern, the way to approach them is with activity, with actions, with changes, with motion, with, again, doing something that pushes against the worry, that pushes against the source of the worry. Outside of that, we're going to Then we also have a mantra that I use here in the PROWIRC method when we just need to say, okay, guess what? Now let's take out that notepad. We write down, oh, I just had this worry. Here it is. The next thing we're going to do is we say, great, I'm going to solve that later. So I'm going to address it later, look at it later. I am going to now push that away, and I'm going to push that away with a mantra. And there's a lot of mantras that you can look up mantras if you want on the internet, or you can look them up on YouTube. I don't know how many there is on YouTube, actually. I've never looked that up. I have seen mantras over the years, in sayings and books and on the internet. But I have a mantra here that you're welcome to use, and we use it a lot on the PROWIRC method channel here. And the mantra is this: I am a unique being, separate from my situation. I possess the godlike power of creativity, and I choose the power of creativity and thankfulness over fear, apprehension, anxiety every minute of every day. Now, as you'll find, most mantras that you see are typically one line, and you're kind of saying it over and over to get it into a meditation kind of state and, push that mantra in your psyche. What we're actually trying to do with this mantra, it's a 2 or 3 lines long, and part of the idea is when you have to learn that and then you have to concentrate on saying it in the order, it's just also a reset for your mind. So yes, it is good to know you're a unique being, you're separate from your situation, no matter what it is, good, bad, or otherwise, and you possess the godlike power of creativity, and you can choose to use that power and the power of thankfulness over fear, apprehension, and anxiety every minute of every day, which is a great reminder every time you start to have worry. If you're saying this, pushing it off with this mantra every minute of every day, it gets you to remember, hey, right now I'm feeling down. I realize I've got some worry in the back of my mind here. So pull up my little book, write down in detail a line about that worry, and then say the mantra, I am a unique being, separate from my situation, and carry on with that to push that out and to get out of the habit of worrying. Because the habit of worrying without activity solves absolutely nothing. It takes all the joy and well-being out of your life. And we're just going to change the direction on that here today. So the secondary thing that's going to happen as you're doing that process is that sometimes the same worry is going to come back up in your mind. So what we're going to do then is, okay, I'm worrying about this again. And you'll know, because the minute you feel a little flat, a little tight, a little knot in your stomach, or something's going on there, you're not feeling your well-being. You're certainly not feeling happiness. And you go, oh, there's that worry, and you open that little book. Now, when it's, oh, I've already written this worry down, just put a little tick beside that worry, because a part of one of the things we're going to do is at the end of the week, in your, in the people that are reading the PROWIRC method, happiness and well-being through balance and progress, the PROWIRC method, they're having a weekly meeting with themselves to address issues of balance and all the areas of their life, to see that it's moving forward and not moving backward, and just keeping that forward motion and progress so that they can feel balance and, so they can do those things. So the people that are reading that are already having a weekly meeting with themselves. But what we're going to talk about here is, as part of that weekly meeting now, we're going to look through these things and say, okay, at some point we're going to run out of original worries, and we're going to realize, hey, there's just a few of these things that are just kind of haunting me all the time. And we're going to take the first week, we're just going to take the one that is the most center. He said, wow, it literally came up like 7 or 8 times. I worried about the same thing. Then I had to say my mantra, push it out of my mind, go on my life, feel my well-being. But I'm going to actually now take a creativity session, and I'm going to come up with some things that I can use to actually defeat the source of this worry. So we take that worry, and the creativity session I'm talking about, we also describe in the book. I know I'm picking it up again, but the creativity sessions we describe in the book, we take that topic and say, okay, this is the thing I'm worried about. Pose that problem to yourself. Here's a concern. I'm going to take 5 minutes right now and just brainstorm everything I can think of that I could do that might help that. Either an activity, things I could learn, things I could change, things I could do, things I could move, things I could interact with, anything that comes into your mind. Part of the thing that we do in in the PROWIRC method is when we're having creativity sessions, we don't try to come up with one good idea. Because if you're just sitting there thinking, oh, wow, I've got this problem, I need one good idea to solve it, well, you put tons of pressure on yourself and you're not engaging your actual power of creativity. When in the PROWIRC method book, we really look at here's how you engage the power of your creativity. You open it up against the topic and you get the water running. You get writing down everything you can. And when you look back at this thing, what you've written down there over 5 minutes, you're going to find there, oh my God, there's a few good ideas here. Now, the idea then is to say, okay, here's one or two ideas that I think would be really good to work on this. Now, we're going to say, now, are these ideas something that can be done? Like, is this an idea of something that I could do in a 2-hour session to dispel that worry? Is it something I'm going to have to do over time? Is it something, that might take me 6 months to do? Whatever it is, you're going to have ideas and they're going to have different time things that that'll take to do them. So if you come up with the one you like the best, let's say, and you say, oh, this is something, but this is almost kind of a project that needs to be done to alleviate this worry. Say I have a certain, worry about my, something that's going on at my work or something that's going on at my house or something that's going on with my car or something that's going on with my career or my business or my money or something. And yeah, I have a big idea here how I can really work on this, but it's going to take quite a bit of time. And if that's the case, then we take that idea and we do the creativity session on it again. We say, now let's take 5 minutes. Blow out every activity and every thought and every idea that we could do to address that idea that helps to address this worry. And we do that again, and then we look at the best ideas and we go down through those, and we might take the best 2 or 3, or because you had one big idea, we might want to take, a number of them and say, great, what's in order for these? And what we're looking to do, we call that zooming into our ideas and our creative ideas, until we can get them down to say, hey, these are, now I've got this down to activities I can do in 1-hour sessions or half-an-hour sessions or 2-hour sessions. And I have these activities. And so now what I'm going to do in the next week when I'm going along, and I have suddenly I feel like I'm worrying about something. Oh, great, no problem. I'm going to take out my little worry notepad. I'm going to go, okay, either this is a new worry or this is one I've already done. If this is one I've already done and it's coming up a lot, then I have activities for this. When I get home tonight, right away, I'm going to take one of those activities I've brainstormed. I'm going to schedule it, and I'm going to schedule the next week. I might take 2 or 3 of them, depending on how much that is bothering me. But what I'm doing here is I'm using the technique of combating worry with activity, not with thought. Just constantly driving along, thinking random thoughts about your worries. Solves nothing. Takes the joy out of your life. Takes away all your well-being. Creates the habit of worry. The habit of worry is the number one thing, really, that people have that seems to destroy most of their joy and their psyche and, and that type of thing. So that is really the crux of what we want to do here to deal with this concept of worry. And then we're going to get down to a couple more things. There's just 2 more things I want to address here, because some people are going to say, well, Ron, these are not activities that there's not an activity I can do. I'm putting on the news cycle and there's things happening, politically or this way or that way, or, there's things beyond my power that are worrying me, concerning me. Okay. Well, first of all, let's get back to the concept that we have to understand that just worrying about them is doing nothing to actually help with that at all. And so you're just worrying about the things, waste of time on that, even with those items. So you have something that you don't like that's happening politically, or something that's, something that's happening in the world, whatever. Is there somebody that if you looked up and you Googled and this and that, or you went on YouTube or whatever, are there people that are actually working on this problem, that are working the solutions in the direction that you're happy with? Okay, so if that being the case, find out where those people are. Find out what that organization is. Typically, you can schedule a set. Guess what? I have this worry. It's a social activist, whatever, environmental, it's political, it's what I have some worry, and I'm saying my mantra just to get rid of it, but I really I would feel better if I could do something about it. Well, there will be people already dealing with that worry that you could literally just get out your, little checkbook or credit card or what. You could send that organization that's dealing with that worry of yours, send them some money. Saying, great, you know what? This guy is really, and his organization, I have this worry that comes up. It's about the environment all the time, or it's political, or it's this or that. There's an organization that's always working to fix that or to move it in a direction I think is better, whatever. Send that organization a small amount of money and then choose to put that worry out of your mind. Maybe you might want to support them ongoingly. I don't know. This isn't just a thing to drive money to all kinds of charities. But the fact is this: if you can't say to yourself, it's about activity, not thought. If I'm either going to do something about a thing or I'm going to stop worrying about it, I'm going to say it with mantra, push it out of my mind. You can do that. But if you can't push it out of your mind, you say, no, this is a legitimate concern. Well, if it's a legitimate concern and it's something out of your power to do something about, then you can send some money off to someone else can do something about it. Then you can put it out of your mind, check the box off. I'm doing something about that. I'm going to say my mantra and I'm going to go on with my well-being and go on with my day and have a good time. There's one other thing that I'm just going to put on the tail end of this. There are one other type of worry here that I can think of that people are, worrying about. That, for instance, if they're worrying about a health item or a health item for them, a health item for their family, something like that. And there's all different kinds of health matters, and some of them are serious and some of them are ultimately fatal and those kinds of things. So sometimes in life you're going to come up against problems that cannot be solved. And whether the problem's for you or someone close to you, and the problem is real. And the fact that you're worrying and concerned about it is certainly a real interaction to that problem. But the part we're going to have to try to get our head around, and even if you're the person it's affecting directly, once you have done everything you can do and exasperated everything and all that type of thing, and all you can do is wait and see how it goes, or if it's something that can't be fixed in the health department, or and it's obviously pulling a person's time short or whatever, the one thing you can still do is try to enjoy some happiness and well-being in those moments of your life you still have. And that still means you're going to have to take a method, push away that worry, push away that topic. There's either an activity you can do to help it, an activity you can do to fix it, or a mantra you can do to push it away. There's no good reason, there's no effective reason, there's no helpful reason to just worry about things that are out of your control. And I just wanted to put that out there today. Thanks for coming back to the channel, the PROWIRC Method, where we discuss the concepts from the book Happiness and Well-Being through Balance and Progress, the PROWIRC Method. And I'm Ron Christopher. I wrote the book. That book's available on Amazon, and you can also, there's a workbook where you can actually, the book's filled with tons of exercises, and we say the exercises are to get to know yourself better. One of the answers to many questions in life to try to move forward and try to have progress in all your areas and try to have a good time with happiness and well-being, and that is to get to know yourself better, know what would suit you better. And subsequently, there's a lot of exercises and self-discovery things to do in the book. We also have those exercises and self-discovery items on the website, theprowircmethod.com. They're on there as PDFs. For a small fee, you can actually download those. You can work directly on the workbook. You could read the book, or you can just watch the videos. We discuss the concepts, or you can do all three. I really appreciate that you're coming out and engaging with any part of this. And if you've made it to the end of the video, then thank you very much. You're probably one of the subscribers that we just started this channel a few months ago, and we're getting our subscribers up close to 100 subscribers. And these days, with all the channels out there and all the topics and concepts, I really appreciate the the people that have put the trust in my ideas here enough to come back and say, you know what, I'm going to give this guy a chance to tell me some more of his ideas and see if I can really use those, see if the book might be able to help me, happiness and well-being, through balance and progress, the PROWIRC method. And we hope to see you again soon. Thanks very much.